Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, welcome to my YouTube channel, and let's go to the Gauteng High Court where there was some. We'll talk about what I think actually is going on here. So, it turns out that Mr. Leka, who is the person that made the accusation of a cell phone found in Mr. Ntuli's cell in the Hoshimampuru Max prison, and then instead of him coming to court, his superior came to court by the name, I think the surname is Tsebengu. Tsebengu is the person that came basically to set the record straight as to what actually happened. And I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting because I was looking forward to hear from this particular individual called Leka, who made this particular decision. So I have my notes here as per usual. How everything started. Mr. Tsebengu, of course, he was not sworn in because Judge Rata described this as solving a problem rather than a formal type of legal process, which of course he also told Mr. Mshololo that this is not something we are solving a problem, so there's progress in this matter, which I totally agree with that. I thought that was very wise of Judge Rada to do that because Mr. Mshololo was going with the route of making an application, meaning a whole hearing was going to be lodged. Obviously, a different judge was going to listen to the matter. So Judge Rata is thinking, oh, there's time already wasted in this matter, so let's just resolve it. So then he called the people at Hoshimampuru, whom I still think they still need to get a constitutional law class. That one I'm not going to move away from, even though Mr. Tsebengu was sounding like, yeah, the constitutional rights of the inmates are very important to be adhered to. So I'm going to be reading what he has said on the stand. Was he on the stand or he was just standing? I'm not quite sure. Tsebengu says he's allowed to call his legal representative, Mr. Ntuli, accused number 5. He does have the right to call his legal representatives, but there's a process. The process is you write a letter, which he sends the letter to Mr. Leka, and then Mr. Leka will permit him to make a call to his legal representatives or his or whoever, family members and things like that. And then he says, but this must be, he said, yeah, but this must be put in writing. Then he continues to say that Mr. Ntuli made a call on the 12th and the 18th of July. On the 18th, he had called his wife. And then when it came to the matter of blankets, he says he has a sheet and 3 blankets. And then he says that he did see them this morning, that he had a sheet and 3 blankets. I don't think that is true. I'm sorry, I don't think that is true because many things at the end of the day he said he was not aware of. How would he know that when he actually did go to Mr. Ntuli's cell and saw a sheet and 3 blankets? Right? And then he continues to say he stays alone in his cell. So that means there's no witness of whether a cell phone was found or not. Then he says it is right to have blankets and sheets, and he cannot be denied such rights. And then he goes on how this transpired. He says on the 9th of July, he was transferred to CMAX. He was found with a cell phone during the search. Remember the 8th, we all woke up and we heard that there was a raid at Hoshimampuru maximum prison where cell phones were found, including Vusumuzi Cat Matlala's cell. Right. And then I think I'm going to find the clip. It is one of the news channel where they were asking about Thabo Bester if they found anything. And then they said, no, they didn't find anything in Thabo Bester's cell. Now, Thabo Bester is a high profile prisoner. So is Mr. Ntuli and also Ntanzi and everybody that is in that CMAX prison. They would have said, yeah, in Mr. Ntuli, one of the Senzo Meyiwa accused, they found a cell phone there, but that was not reported because that would have broken the news, wouldn't it? So, and I think I know what's happening, or at least I suspect what is happening. And let me say what I think happened there. As Mr. Ntuli, okay, no, I'll get there. I'm so sorry. In the continues, the cell phone was found on the 8th of July and he was transferred on the 9th of July, the following day. And then he was asked by judge if he did see the cell phone. He says, no, I can't tell who found the phone and I did not see the phone. And he continues to say the session was conducted by the National Commissioner on the 8th of July 2025. He was then transferred to CMAX prison after they found the cell phone for further investigations. And then he says, no, he has never seen the cell phone. And he says, I was not present during the search, which took place at midnight of the 8th of July. And then judge asked if there were any complaints that lodged by Mr. Ntuli for the torture that he has alluded to this morning. And then Mr. Xabengu says no complaints were received or lodged with his office. If any incident happens to an inmate, the inmate should report it to his office immediately, but he has never received any from Mr. Ntuli. And then he continues to say, I did speak to Mr. Leta this morning. I don't know what they were talking about. He speaks to all inmates who leave the facility for whatever reason. So basically, he was just briefing, I guess, his superior, which happens to be Mr. Xabengu, that, yeah, this morning, this person is going to hospital. This morning, that person is going to court and that, all that sort of stuff. So basically, it's your, I guess, your morning brief ritual type of situation. And then, of course, Mr. Mshololo took to the stood up and said, I'm not sure of the process, whether it's going to be a cross-examination. And then judge is like, no, we are solving a problem. This is not a process because Mr. Xabengu was not sworn in. Judge Rata said, we are trying to solve a problem, hence he has not taken an oath. Mr. Michelle then said, can he please state his case? Now she's asking if her client, Mr. Ntuli, can state his case because he knows the story fully well. Even though Judge Rata was saying, no, consult with him. Then she said, no, I would like him to be the one that tells his story, because at the end of the day, he's the one who knows the story of what actually happened on the 8th of July. Then Judge Rata said, if you wish to speak, but you are not obliged to say anything. Now he's addressing accused number 5, Mr. Ntuli, that, hey, if you want to speak, go ahead. You can also reserve your rights not to say anything if you don't want to talk. Then Fisobuhle Ntuli stood up and said, I'm going to speak. And then he says, he started off by saying, a cell phone being found in my cell is not true. Amanga. It's not true. Anyways, he continues to say, this is what actually he says. Ever since he has been there, he has always wrote a letter. He says that he gets assisted to write a letter. I mean, I think most of us already know that thus far that he's actually not educated. He can't read and write. And so he gets assisted by one of the officials inside to help him write a letter if he needs to make a phone call home or to make a phone call to his legal representative. So he says that on the 10th, they wrote a letter. They never got a response. On the 14th, they sent another letter and still there's no response. I was informed that they still don't have an answer, meaning the person that was assisting him still don't have an answer regarding the first letter. Mr. Nkosi then informed him to wait for a response. I was in my cell. After the depriving of sheets and blankets, I did not know to whom to speak to. So because he was being deprived of sheets and blankets, he says, and nobody's responding to him. Nobody's saying anything. This is now when he's transferred to CMAX. And then he ended up asking the guys that cleaned the prison if they could please get him sheet and blankets. And that's where it all ended, because that did not transpire. I guess they were stopped by the superiors. He continues to say, I'm going to paraphrase because half the time there was a person that kept coughing. I don't understand why they were not leaving and just spreading whatever the cough is about in there. And it was so distracting. I was told I was not allowed to make a phone call after I asked if I could make a call, because he hasn't gotten a response from the letters that he has written. The man in court now is talking about Tsebengu. He says, I have never seen this man before. This is my first time. I've never even seen him in the prison before. And then he says, the letter I wrote, still to this day, I have not received an answer. And then what is Mr. Tsebengu is saying about me found with a cell phone is not true. And then he gets into it. This is Fisoguhle. The people who conducted the search about 5 minutes to about 10 minutes after 10 p.m., after the lights were turned off, that's when the search took place. I was asked to leave my cell, and my hands were placed against the wall. And a police officer went into my cell and started searching. And then later on, he asked me to come inside. I went inside, and a person wearing black also came inside, and the search continued. And he says someone else came and continued searching, wearing black clothes. I was asked about the television set that I had in my cell. He said, no, that television doesn't belong to me. I guess they rotate the television amongst the inmates. He says there is a letter that you're supposed to get. I think it's a permit of some sort, and he did not have the permit. And therefore, this person told him that they're going to take the television away because he doesn't have the permit, and they're going to take it to the person who has the permit for the television. Fisoguhle said, okay, I have no problem with that. They took that, and the other guy continued to search his cell. And then he continued to say, I told him, okay, yeah, I already covered that. And since then, I have not had the permit. Therefore, they took the television. It was unplugged and taken away. He then took it away. The other guy continued searching. A female officer came and asked for jail ticket. I don't know what a jail ticket is. The one who was searching continued to search. When he was done searching, he thanked him and told him to clean up the room because, of course, the search will mess everything up. And then he says he found nothing. Nothing was found in my cell. They thanked him, locked up, and left. In the morning, Mr. Machine, apparently there's somebody called Mr. Machine, or maybe that's how he's referred to, came and said he must pack up all his things. And when he asked why, he said he's being transferred to CMAX because he was found with a cell phone. And he was like, no, that's not true because nothing was found in my cell. They would have informed me if something that was not allowed found in my cell last night. So Fisoguhle somewhere somehow found out that actually the cell phone was found in CMAX. Now this is where the dots started connecting. The CMAX wardens, they exchanged the person that was found with a cell phone by the people that were searching, and they moved him to where? To BMAX, and then they took Fisoguhle to CMAX to replace him, so that those wardens, whom I suspect smuggled the cell phone and gave it to that prisoner, and now they will get into trouble. And the only way to divert the trouble away from themselves is to get Fisoguhle to take the fall. The evilness of these people. Guys, you are evil, Shem. Nani, one day is one day. And then, so that's what had happened. He says, I asked him why I was not informed that a cell phone was found in my room last night. They said, well, it's an order, so pack up and let's go. This is now the 9th of July. And then he continues to say, it's not true that they found a cell phone in my cell. It's not true. The people from CMAX are using me for cover-up. The person whom they found cell phone was in CMAX, and they are smearing me with that cell phone. That's all that I am aware of. Since the 9th of July, I've been in CMAX. And the judge asked him, so what is he crying about? He says, I am facing a lot of challenges in CMAX. I am denied a phone call. I am denied blankets, and I'm also made to bath in cold water. And then judge says, where do you want to be housed, either than in Hoshimampur? And Fiso Butlintuli was like, look up prison, please. That's where I was initially was. Take me to look up in maximum prison, because that's where I always been. Judge then asked Mr. Tsebengu what classification is Fiso Butlintuli in Hoshimampur. He also confirmed that he's in the CBAX right now. Then it continues to say that, judge, what would be the problem if he is moved to look up? Asking Tsebengu. Tsebengu said, well, if it's an order from the court, then there's nothing I can do about it. And then judge said, who is the head of prison in Lukop? And there was a name thrown around, a Mr. Zondo. And then Advocate Ngumalo was asked to speak to Mapisa because he's housed there. He confirmed that indeed it's a Mr. Zondo who is the head of Luakop prison. And judge says that, is he agreeable? Is he a person that can agree for this exchange to take place? Or maybe this development to take place? And yes, well, he's a good guy apparently. And then judge continues to say, for the sake of progress, though I don't have authority to make this order, I order that he be housed at local prison, maximum prison, from today. Mr. Tsebengu said, well, can it be tomorrow, because there's still paperwork to be done? Ooh, Fiso Butlintuli was like, his hand up. He's like, listen, judge, if you take me back to Hoshimampuru, I am going to be electrocuted for this order. I'm going to be punished. And so Tsebengu then said, oh, listen, I will make sure that nothing happens to him, because the judge was trying to convey a message, to convey to the new shift that he must not be touched. So Tsebengu was like, he's not going to be touched, I can assure you. Let's hope so. Then Mr. Msholo says, as long as the accused will have a peace of mind so he's able to concentrate in the trial, she has no problem with the order. And then, because we're talking about transportation and all of that, Mr. Ntuli once again raised his hand. He's like, listen, there's no problem with transportation. I am taken from Hoshimampuru to here by the Luakop transport. So that's not a problem, because he really doesn't want to go back to Hoshimampuru. You could even hear it in his voice, the fear of the repercussions for what transpired in court today. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. I need to run somewhere before they resume at 2. And then let's go. He asked if I'm taken to. Okay. Judge says Advocate Msholo should write a letter to both prisons regarding the order, even though the order is not authorized. I guess he's looking for an authority of some sort to persuade him to have taken the decision that he has taken. And then these letters should be sent to Hoshimampuru as well as Lukop regarding what transpired in court. And Mr. Ntuli thanked the judge profusely. You can tell the relief in his voice. Even the court ended up giggling or laughing. And then, of course, judge asked if they could continue with the day, because already the better half of the day has been wasted. And then Advocate Baloyi says, yeah, because the 2 witnesses are already here. Mr. Mshololo then asked if the matter could be postponed until 2 o'clock, so she's able to draft these letters and send them to the 2 prisons, so that Fiso Butlintuli can comfortably go and start being housed at a local prison. So that is basically what transpired in court today. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I am saying that is so evil. And I don't think it was a smart game that they played, especially with Fiso Butlintuli. And yet, the media would have known that one of the accused, in the sense of Meyiwa, was found with a cell phone, because Thabo Bester, they said, no, he was not found with a cell phone. As a matter of fact, he was in good spirit. He was smiling, and there was a stack of books in his cell. So they would have said something the same, especially if they found a cell phone in Fiso Butlintuli's cell. That would have been reported. So you guys are not smart. You are evil, but not smart either. That's just my opinion. And that, guys, I guess we'll see each other after the long adjournment. I guess we'll hear what these 2 witnesses are all about and all that nonsense, this fabricated case. I'll see you again later. Goodbye.